Cuban President Fidel Castro has chimed in on the entire situation between the U.S. and the DPRK. The Cuban president said that the DPRK and the U.S. need to work on reducing tensions within the region and between the two nations, because the consequences are devastating. He said that a war between the two nations would very likely affect 70% of the world's population and place them all in great jeopardy. He said Pyongyang has demonstrated its technical and scientific advances. We remind them of their duties with those countries that have been their great friends. No doubt what Castro was referring to here is China and possibly Cuba as well, countries that are not interested in there being a war between the U.S. and the DPRK. And frankly, who would want a war? Nobody wants a nuclear war that will annihilate the entire world. This is not in the benefit of anybody. And of course, because these two countries go to war, the friends on both sides either have to back or reject their friends. And that could place them in very difficult situations. Because of course, Cuba would side with the DPRK because the DPRK is the victim in this case. The DPRK is anti-imperialist, but doing that would renew the U.S.'s justification for going after the island nation even further. So I think what Castro's trying to say, for the sake of everybody else who doesn't want to be involved in the situation, for the sake of everybody else who doesn't want to have to take such a direct side, for everyone else who just doesn't want to die for this, the two countries need to work things out. And finally, Castro said that this situation has the potential to lead the world closest to nuclear war since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. Also in the news with the DPRK is the announcement by the North Korean government that they're suggesting that other countries pull their embassy staff out of their country. The DPRK says that it's not sure it can ensure the safety of any foreigners that are working with the country. The DPRK has responsibilities under the Vienna Convention to protect diplomatic missions, and we believe they have taken this step as a part of the country's rhetoric that the U.S. poses a threat to them. This has come as the DPRK has moved several medium-range rockets towards their east coast, obviously to deal with the threat posed by the United States. The people of the DPRK have been given a good reminder by the Cuban government that despite all these hostilities, and the U.S. needs to be told this 10 times as much as North Korea does, that there are a lot of people who are not involved in this and have no vested interest in there being a war that are going to suffer. The DPRK has shown some concern for people inside the nation that aren't actually involved in this whole conflict by asking them to remove their embassy staff in order to ensure their safety in this situation. However, the DPRK is obviously showing concern for innocent people that are not involved in this, that the United States is not showing whatsoever as it continues its provocation towards the North Korean nation for daring to oppose imperialism and not to live under their thumb. The people of the DPRK need to understand this, and I'm sure they do, and continue the strength towards its own independence.